You do not seek an alliance. You seek a throne. You will live to regret this, old man.
I'm so curious because Helm Hammerhand is sort of this really well-known character in, I guess, the sort of lore of Lord of the Rings. Was there any intimidation coming into voicing this type of character and sort of getting it right? Or is it just more, it's just another job and it's all about,
I'm afraid it is just another job, I'm afraid it is just another job, but it's a magnificent job. I don't knock the job, but it is another job. I didn't know anything about Lord of the Rings. I had never read Tolkien. I did after I saw the Peter Jackson series. I read The Hobbit, so I got into it then. But I wasn't a Tolkien fan. That's what that wasn't my thing. And but having seen and also having read it and realized how Celtic a lot of it is. It's very I recognize the physicality of it, where the land, which is very key. And of course, Scotland being a Scot, we have a beautiful, beautiful country. So I could see where that, why New Zealand and Scotland and Ireland, they have a thing in common, which is very Tolkien-like,
I think he was very influenced by the Celtic mythology of the area, and I think also like Norse. But anyways,
yeah, I think there's a lot of that. There's a lot of crossfire, and of course that did happen a lot at that time. Like Dublin is a great sort of was a Norse. They raided and lived there for a long time, and the red-headed Irishman comes directly from the Viking invasions. That's how you get your red-headed Irish man and woman. It's from the Viking.
I love that. I'm curious, you've had a prolific career. Is there still a role out there or a job out there that you would take because you haven't never gotten a chance to do it, either on stage or on screen?
I've been very lucky in the range of work I've got, so I can't complain. And I tend not to think too much in the future. I really tend to deal with the immediate, what's happening immediately. I think, there's a lot of human beings spend their lives living in the future, and they just get more and more disappointed because the future gets more and more disappointing. Whereas I've never really gone down that road. It has to be the here and now, it has to be this moment, So if that job comes along and I look at it and I think, yeah, this is a great part. I want to play it. I play it. Boom. End of story, And then when you work with somebody as wonderful as Philippa Bones, who allows you to be and allows you to play the part the way you know how to respond to that role. Because I've played a lot of those guys, I know that territory pretty well, those guys who are essentially make a lonely life for themselves because of, I think, the nature of being a king. I have I don't believe in kings. I don't believe in them at all, but I have a lot of respect for people who are kings. Like, I've got a lot of respect for Charles, who had to wait till the age of 76 to become a king, and that sort of legitimized himself in some way. And I thank fuck I didn't have that problem, that they have. So I have a great respect. I think it's a tragic thing that you can, waste your life on that. But there are good kings and there are bad kings. And just in the way there are good presidents and there are bad presidents, and we see that all the time. That's a fact of life.
We don't need to get into that because honestly, that will just start me down a tangent. And
yeah,
that's not a road I need to walk down at 7 o'clock.
No, you don't need to walk down that road at all.
So I'm just curious. I have to ask you about Succession because myself and like millions others are a huge fan, and what a great finale to that show. Is there what is the thing that you look back on that you're the proudest most of being a part of that type of story? And
I think it was the group. I think it was a phenomenal group of actors to work with. They were great. Even Jeremy Strong. Jeremy's a great actor. He was wonderful to act with. I loved acting with Jeremy. There's a lot of other stuff I didn't particularly care for, but that was neither here. As long as we could do the acting, that was it. And then, of course, the great McFadden, he is good. And Greg, they were a great cast. And, of course, and to watch the growth of Kieran Culkin over 5 years, who was so... he would, when we started, they would give him 5 alts and he would panic. But by the end of it, he was doing 5 pages of waltz and doing it like just falling off a rock. You know, it was amazing. He's an extraordinary young man, and he's getting a great deal of success. Because he was in a very strange situation, you know, because having been a child actor and making that very difficult bridge, and now he's emerged superbly, I think.
I definitely agree. I would watch a whole reel of that, of 3 hours of him, you know, improving. But anyways, I do not have any more time with you, and I would love to speak with you more, but it's been great. And thank you so much for being so generous with answers. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.